And welcome everyone to Zija Biz Talks. My name is Amy McKenzie. I'm an Emerald Executive with Zija International, and it is my absolute pleasure to be hosting tonight. Normally you would have Fred Holmes, Triple Diamond Executive, one of our great leaders in this company, but he happens to be enjoying a well-deserved vacation on an undisclosed Hawaiian island. Aloha, Fred. Tonight, I want to welcome all of you to this call. Thank you to all of you that are out there in the world sharing our wonderful products and opportunity. But for those of you that are new, I want to give you a special welcome because tonight is really for you. So you may have been invited by a friend, family member, colleague, someone that said, I'm doing something you might be interested in learning more about. Welcome, because we're going to cover some things tonight that might help you make your decision. And I want to say, you know, when I started this, I was really a rank beginner, had never done anything like it before. Thanks to the leadership in this company, I've been very successful. I put my daughter through a private university that, as a single mom, I never would have been able to accomplish without my home-based business. But which one do you choose? How do you know? There's so many great things out there. It almost becomes like noise, right? And everyone says they're the best. So what factors help someone determine if this is right for them? Well, I had the advantage, as I said, of coming in under someone who was very knowledgeable, right? Who told me that a professional has 3 things they look for. We're going to cover those 3 things briefly, and then I'm going to bring on a very special guest tonight so that you can get her perspective of why she chose Zija. So let's begin. When you're looking at the 3 things that really matter, you might think product is first, but actually, leadership is first. Why? Because no matter how great the product is, if the company isn't sustainable, it won't be around. It won't last. You want something you can hang your hat on. So let's take a look at that first. And I'm going to begin with our CEO, founder, Ken Brailsford. Now, you may never have heard his name, but the reality is you probably know of him. Why? Well, if you've ever taken, let's say, an herb in a capsule. Yep. Ginkgo biloba, echinacea, anyone? You have Ken to thank. It was his idea with his family to put herbs in a capsule. He is truly an icon in the health and wellness industry. When you think about it, there's a lot of awareness now about health, but think back almost 50 years ago, it was not the popular topic, right? So he was really ahead of the curve. He created a company you might have even heard of. Why? Because it's still around today, Nature's Sunshine. This company that he started in the 70s has been so successful. It's done over $1 billion in sales, and it's still running. He went on in the 80s to start another company now under the name of Unicity. You know, this is really a remarkable accomplishment because these are what are called legacy companies. And it's a very specific definition to earn that title. You have to have been in business for 20 years, done over $1 billion in sales, and most importantly, still be in business today. Well, there's only a couple dozen companies on that list. Do you know that Ken is the only one that's ever had and still has 2 companies on that list? Zija International is his 3rd. So we feel pretty confident that he knows what he's doing. He knows how to build a company that's going to last not a couple of years, not even a couple decades, but that will be multi-generational. Now, he didn't have to start Zija. Fact of the matter is, Ken was already retired. And he certainly had already done his service to humanity. He is a humanitarian. But when he found out what moringa, the plant, the botanical, could do for mankind, that it could do more than all the hundreds of products he'd ever created in one enzymatically delivered drink, he said, you know what? He felt spiritually prompted to bring moringa to the world. And that is our flagship product. So he was inspired and has followed through with a tremendous amount of experience, wisdom, acumen, and of course, if you don't have the funding to keep going, that's going to be a big piece. He had all the cards required to create Zija International and maintain it and sustain it. And I can tell you, he attracts a corporate leadership team that is extraordinary, frankly, because people want to work with someone who has that kind of reputation. In fact, I found many leaders like Fred Holmes. That was the first clue for them. The rest would follow. But when they heard that Ken Brailsford was coming out of retirement to do a company, he knew it must be something very special, right? So we have the leadership in spades. I mean, we are debt-free. I mean, we are in a position that we could literally go to $1 billion in sales without adding a brick. That's a big deal. Everything's in place. Well, now that you have the leadership, what about the products? It all began with the products. That's what inspired him to come back, because moringa was such an extraordinary botanical to share with the world. Since that time, there is just no stopping this company. They continue to push the envelope, bringing forth products that are literally first to market, that have clinical grade efficacy. I mean, in every category, what touches you inside and outside. We have nutrition, weight management, active lifestyle, personal care. Let's make your home safe for you, right? And for your children and your animals. Like anything that touches you inside and out. We literally have an encyclopedia of over 100 plant-based products now, and every single one of them is good as the next. But it doesn't stop there, because the company is continuing to push the envelope. On Saturday, just last week, we launched 2 new products, a full-on meal replacement that you are full. You are ready to go for 3 or 4 hours. All of it's natural, 100% metabolized, and it's for a few bucks. I mean, this is a grocery item you want on your shelf. And of course, one of my new favorites, our Zija coffee. Mushroom coffee, sounds strange? Well, what if you could get all the benefits of coffee, but have it be good for you, right? Look up lion's mane and chaga mushrooms. They're extraordinary, but it tastes like one of the richest cups of coffee you've ever had. And there's more coming, right? The company isn't just sitting on its laurels, right? And that brings me to my third point that I learned one wants to consider when, shopping around, and that's timing. And we really actually have that in spades. So if you're looking out there at an old company that's been around a long time, that's a good feeling because it's got longevity. It's not going away. But it may not be, necessarily going to have a lot of momentum. Probably a lot of people have heard about it already. Maybe there are people are already using those products, right? It doesn't have a huge growth factor. You could go to a brand new company that's got a certain appeal to it, right? But it also has a risk, because will it last? The majority of companies only make it maybe a couple of years. And what do you want to invest your time in? Something that'll be around for a while. Well, how about a company that has both? Zija is in its 14th year. We have a foundation that's solid. It was built wisely, slowly, wide and strong. We're there. And yet, because of the way Mr. Brailsford did this, and we are slowly emerging into the market, there's still plenty of opportunity. So we have the possibility of going global, because somebody knows someone in Europe, for instance, right? Or Asia, we're in China, we're in almost 60 countries. So you literally can have a global business from your living room. It's about to go into huge momentum. What the professionals say, based on experience, is that any company that you can get involved in that's between, let's say, 150 million and 500 million, that's the sweet spot. That's when the majority of wealth can be created in a fast amount of time. And that's exactly where we are right now. So when you look at those 3 elements, Zija tends to rise to the top. And with that in mind, I want to bring on my special guest. So now Pam Foster, this is, she and her husband Charles are really special people. Not only is she a mother and a grandmother with 2 wonderful grandsons, she's a former teacher who's become a professional network marketer. The thing that really stands out to me about the Fosters is everything they do is with a line of integrity. I mean, you can just see it coming through their pores. These people do not take other people's lives at random, right? They consider their choices, and they are very, very solid people that when they make a choice, they've done the research. And that's why Pam's opinion is so meaningful. So Pam, I'm going to bring you on over here and have you share with us, if you would, some of your experience, because I'll tell you, Pam, I think we might need to unmute you. You see the, oh, there, we can hear you now. That's terrific. And if you flip on your video, then we'll be able to see you too. That would be great.
Is it not?
Yeah, we're seeing your beautiful picture with Charles. Everyone can see who you are there.
Okay. Well, it should be there.
Okay. Let me see. Anything on my end? Okay, there we go. I think there we go. Nope. Still seeing your picture. Not quite sure why. But I wanted to get your point of view as you look at that. You had a lot of options as you were looking around at what was, to you going to be a company worth really investing your time and energy into. And I know you didn't take that decision lightly. When you and Charles were looking, what was it for you that really was a standout? What made you think twice about Zija? What made it rise to the top, in your opinion?
Well, thank you, Amy, so much for having us on tonight. And I was driving over. I'm actually at an event, and I'm in her bathroom right now. Stepped out to do this call, and I think it went on safe driving mode. And so I don't want to lose you in order to get back to unmute that. So if you can hear, I'm going to go forth here.
You sure can.
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing was a company that, there were certain criteria that we were looking for as well. And my health had been failing. My blood pressure was having a lot of issues. And we were looking for something that was going to be natural. I didn't want to go through the route that my family has been through, some of the history that we've had some serious problems. And so we were looking at the products. We were also looking at the business, because being a teacher, there's not always a ton of money in retirement for teachers. We love what we do. We have purpose every day, and it's a great profession. But also when you retire or, make that choice, then you want to be able to have something that's sound. And the beauty of this is so many people, have you ever known people that want to make the right choices, but they don't know what to do? And when you can offer something that is going to be natural and simple, that people can maintain, and that is exactly what these products do. And so therefore, it was natural for us to look at the company. Today is actually our 4-year anniversary with the company. Wow. And yeah, so it's so fun. And we actually we 15 of us drove up to Austin and checked it out. We had friends of ours that were doing an event. So we got to meet a lot of the people there, hear kind of the history of the company, and it all sounded just wonderful. The people were so inviting, and the stability of the company and the founder of the company, as you mentioned. And so therefore we actually flew up to the company, my husband and I, and sat down with the founders, with friends of ours. And, it was just hands down, sometimes, and you just feel that sense of this is the right place. We do see the vision of where this company was headed. And at that year, it was a 10-year mark. And we've seen such wonderful growth in the last 4 years, and only projected with what's coming. I mean, the 2020 is going to be some very exciting things. And so we knew we were in the right place at the right time, right company, right products.
Well, that makes a lot of sense to me, hitting all the marks there. And I think that when you have exposure from people you trust, right? These are people that you had known for some time that shared this with you, that I imagine meant something too as well.
Oh, absolutely. Because they vetted over 90 different companies and knew what we were looking for. And when we got the call to check this out, first of all, you trust your friends, you've known people, and you just know that they're going to lead you in the right direction, but yet you still want to do your own research, because this is livelihood that we were looking for as well too. And my husband, very wonderful photographer, 40 years in the industry. And, as a photographer, you're not paid from anyone else. You're behind the camera making the money. And as a teacher, you're in the classroom making the money. So the residual income side of this was very appealing to us, to be able to do something that was very natural, that we could offer people solutions. And there's not just one solution. That's the beauty of what you named as different categories of our company. So you're not a one product company. You have something that's going to fit people's needs based on what they are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's really powerful, because I know that the people who brought you in had the capacity to do a deep level of research and to look at over 90 companies. They've done a lot of the legwork for you already, and yet you still went and did your own research. When you did that, would you say, what aspect of it that first drew you in? Was it the leadership, the products, timing? What aspect would you say?
I would say leadership, because being a teacher, I've seen differences in leadership at the top from administration down. And you can have the best teachers, you can have the best for sales force and companies, but leadership is going to dictate what is driven down the pike. And you have to have a company that is integrity first. And that was what we were looking for. And Ken Brailsford's, his story, his track record, everything that you check with him, it checked every box.
Wow. So here you are, and now let's just kind of look at timing for a minute, because, you've touched on the products and they are wonderful. I have to agree with you that there really is something for everyone. Someone could find something that they would get a benefit from in our product line. So just kind of shift over to timing for a minute. You've come in now, congratulations on 4 years. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
So you've really gotten to see this transition as we now move into all the groundwork being set up, and now moving into this moment in time where we're kind of like the plane on the runway, just gunning to the takeoff. And so you've got to kind of witness the getting onto the runway kind of part of it. And now here we are on the runway, gunning the engines. What's your take on where we are and where we're headed?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt that we have leadership from the top, which has delegated everyone in the right position. And, as a music educator, I would not be the one to be out there coaching the football team. You do have to get people in the right areas of where their expertise is. And Ken's wonderful at that. And the leadership is in place. We do have a corporate team that is amazing, and they are working with the field development team. And we have our focus on our customer base, which is the majority of our company. That's where we want to make people happy. We want to see the success that they get. We want to come alongside them and ride this journey with them. So when someone starts, it's not just start and you're gone. You actually have a process of how you're coming alongside people to help them hit their goals. And it's just a beautiful thing, especially when you come across someone that then embraces it on the business side. Because what joy that is, for some people, an extra $500 a month may be all that they're looking for. Well, that's a car payment. That's groceries for families. There's a lot of things that people, based on what their need is, then we help them achieve that. And so Ken has put the right corporate team there. They work directly with field development, and then we work, of course, with our customers to make sure that our members have the most success that they can have.
Beautifully said. I love the comment, riding along with them on the journey, which is really how the whole structure has been built. And I have to agree, to be able to have such access to the corporate team as we do. They literally, they're on Facebook video with us all the time. We can text them daily with questions, and they answer right away, right? It's very unusual, I think. This is my first rodeo, but I've heard from a lot of people about their past experiences, and this is quite different, apparently, in that regard. And also,
absolutely.
I love what you said about customers too, how we really do give them benefits beyond what I understand is typical, starting off with a free customer position that gets the same discounts we get. So we don't make it, you have to pay a price. You don't have to be a distributor to enjoy the products, right?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty. They can come in where they fit in. And, based on what their budget is, they start. And that's where we come alongside them, as I just said, and help them achieve what their goals are. And we have programs in place where people can get products for free based on sharing with others. How many times have you referred a movie or a book to someone, or a restaurant that's your favorite? And so when someone says, what are you doing, you can share. And that's exactly what's happening. So many of our customers are getting their products free, so they're really not out of pocket anything, and yet they're helping others as well as themselves.
And they didn't start a business. Maybe that wasn't going to fit into their reality at that moment, and yet they sort of accidentally, organically ended up having one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wonderful. Well, as we kind of move to the end of this, is there anything that you would like to share, in parting words with someone who's really just looking at this for the first time?
I would just say start. I've heard recently this phrase that maybe you've heard before, but it was new to me, and it's the start that stops most people. And if you just start wherever that is, if it's with one of our simple core products, just to get your own health on track. Don't look at the whole big picture. Start wherever you fit in. If you're looking at a business, of course, look at the business model. Come in with one of the kits that fits your needs. But just start, because I promise you, you won't regret it. I mean, the 4 years we've been in this, it's amazing how many people that God has put in our path that we've been able to reach out to and help. And, there's no stopping us. I mean, and we're just as passionate now, if not more, I would say, than 4 years ago. I mean, we knew we had a good thing. We knew we had bumped into the right company, right friends to work with, and that's another thing. You and I working together, you can call friends, you call people all the time. And there's so many stories that you can share. And the beauty of social media, yes, we love meeting people one-on-one. Absolutely. I mean, that's how we're wired, right? But there's so many people. Time is an issue. And you can actually run this as a home-based business. And social media is huge. And that is a lot of the aspects of our company. They embrace that. And so based on how you want to work, we'll help you meet that need.
Oh, and I'm so glad that you pointed that out, because it reminds me to say, you can literally, I run my entire business from my phone. So I've been on the sailboat. I travel in this cute little log cabin right now that I'm staying in. I mean, it doesn't, matter from your car, from the airplane.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Well, your comments so meaningful. Yes, exactly. At an event. Perfect. Well, I know that you and Charles are going to be incredibly successful. You've already touched so many people's lives. I thank you for your camaraderie and leadership. As you mentioned, that's one thing we really do in this company is we work together. We don't have to be connected financially to care about one another, to help one another. We're just all in it together because we really do have something special to share. And your point of view is so meaningful, Pam. Thank you so much for taking the time in the middle of everything you're doing to share with us.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Amy, and thanks, Fred, for having me on tonight. I appreciate it so much.
Our pleasure. So I'll go ahead and send you back over. Okay. And and then we'll just close out tonight. I want to thank you all for just, lending an ear for a moment. Take a moment, consider, follow up with the person who invited you, do some research, get all the information that you need. We're all about it. And we have tons of third-party information available out there. In the meantime, if you're kind of feeling like, yeah, this feels right, I've got a couple resources for you. On Wednesday nights, Pat Anderson, one of our premier leaders in the company worldwide, has given us a tremendous resource called clubmoringa.com, M-O-R-I-N-G-A, clubmoringa.com. And it is a plethora of resources. Every Wednesday, 6:30 Pacific, she does Let's Talk. And it's a short show that is always packed with information. It might be interviewing a leader on their success or their tips. It might be an in-depth overview on one of our products or how to share. And you'll find videos back there and all kinds of wonderful resources. So I invite you to join her show on Wednesdays or just check out her website. Then we also, of course, have this every Thursday, Biz Talks, generally hosted by Fred Holmes, who's going to give you a terrific overview, and you'll get to hear from another leader like Pam Foster on their take on why they chose this company. And then if you're really ready to get going, on Saturdays at 10 a.m., we have a new distributor training every single week, and it's hosted by one of our leaders that's going to give you their perspective on ways to move forward. I really recommend going to fredholmes.com and just click on, it's a wonderful, youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. That's youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. And you can click on the playlist and watch his Fast Start training. That's all I did. And I'll tell you what, it changed my life and my daughter's life just following what someone who knows how to do this as well as he does, simple 30-minute technique. So I encourage you to take advantage of our resources, do your research, get a hold of us, ask questions, call the company, whatever you need. We're here. We're all going together, and we'd love for you to join us. With that, I wish all of you a great night. Take care, everyone. Good night.